Battle through the firmament. Great world. Chapter 405 Bronze Warship. Early in the morning, the gentle morning light filled the academy, and the fresh air mixed with a refreshing smell. The flaming wings on Xiaoyan's back flapped rapidly, and very quickly, he landed at the foot of Heaven Pillar Peak. Below Heaven Pillar Peak, Su Jiang sat cross-legged on a huge rock. His clothes were soaked by the dew, and it was obvious that he had been waiting for a long time. Swoosh! Not long after Xiaoyan landed, a few more rays of light flashed across the horizon. Soon, Wu Shaoqi, Lin Dao, and Zhu Tianhou arrived one after another. All of them had solemn expressions on their faces. No one dared to lower the guard when faced with the 4 academies competition that was about to arrive. Elder Su, can we leave now? Wu Shaoqi quietly glanced at them and asked in a clear voice. There is no hurry. Let's wait for another person. Su Jiang raised his head and said with a solemn expression. Who is it? Everyone was stunned when they heard this, and Wu Shaoqi couldn't help but ask. Su Jiang gently smiled and suddenly looked towards the entrance of the Yunlo Academy. He mumbled to himself, they are here. Swoosh! As soon as Su Jiang finished speaking, a silver light suddenly appeared in the distant horizon. Within the light, a handsome young man was rushing over. The young man's black hair was fluttering in the wind, and his eyes were like stars. His entire body was filled with the aura of drifting dust. Mu Yuyang. Lin Dao was the first to react. His eyes were filled with fighting intent. He was very familiar with Mu Yuyang. It had been more than a year since they last met. Given Mu Yuyang's talent, perhaps he had already reached a higher level. Xiaoyan narrowed his eyes. Soul energy surged out from between his brows and instantly wrapped around Mu Yuyang. Although the latter was very powerful, his ability to sense soul energy was very weak. Mu Yuyang didn't notice anything when Xiaoyan's soul swept past him. 7 Monarch Emperor. Looks like this fellow has quite a great opportunity in the outside world. Xiaoyan smiled. Back when he had joined hands with Mu Yuyang to fight many Monarch Emperor warriors in Silver Moon Mountain, the latter was merely a 4-peak of Monarch Emperor warrior. Now, just over a year had passed and he had already reached 7 Monarch Emperor warriors. This kind of talent could be considered monstrous. The light flickered for a moment before Mu Yuyang steadily landed on the ground. He looked at Su Jiang in front of him and nodded respectfully at the latter. Sorry, I'm late. It's not too early. Su Jiang smiled when he saw Mu Yuyang. The former was the biggest trump card of Yunlo Academy this time. He wondered if there were any other major breakthroughs besides the growth of his strength in the past year. Lin Dao, your strength has also increased by a lot. However, it seems like Wu Shaoqi is about to catch up with you. Mu Yuyang smiled and looked at Lin Dao, his eyes filled with eagerness. Humph. Lin Dao frowned when he heard that. He sneered and said, that's her business. Mu Yuyang smiled and did not say anything else. He knew Lin Dao's character very well. As a longtime rival, he knew Lin Dao very well. Xiaoyan. Mu Yuyang was shocked when he saw Xiaoyan. He immediately came back to his senses. His eyes were more passionate than when he looked at Lin Dao. Senior Mu. Seeing Mu Yuyang looking at him, Xiaoyan cupped his hands towards the former and said in a low voice. What a good Saint rank trial participant. You have reached the Monarch Emperor in such a short period of time. You are indeed much stronger than me in the past. Mu Yuyang's eyes sparkled. He took a deep look at Xiaoyan and praised him from the bottom of his heart. Hua. While Mu Yuyang was speaking, Su Jiang had already walked to a spacious area. He gently waved his hand and the storage ring on his fingertip flickered. A relatively large bronze warship appeared on the empty ground. The battleship appeared to be cast from molten iron. The surface of the battleship flickered with the glow of green iron. It was extremely spectacular under the sunlight. When they saw the battleship appear, Wu Shaoqi mumbled to herself and quickly looked over. She had only heard Elder Wu talk about the uniqueness of the warship, but today was the first time she had seen it. Elder Wu's description was even more shocking. It was the first time everyone had seen this warship, so they all stepped forward and looked at it in surprise. Touching the bronze warship, Su Jiang sighed and didn't say anything. How many times had he applied to use the Yunlo's warship? The previous few times, he did not go with great expectations, but had helplessly returned. He hoped that this time, he would not make the same mistake. It's getting late, let's go, Su Jiang said indifferently. He waved his sleeve, and a corner of the bronze warship suddenly opened. A large door that could allow one person to enter and exit appeared. Su Jiang went in first, followed by Xiaoyan and the others. The space inside the warship was huge, and it looked like a small cultivation place. Su Jiang walked into the energy room after making arrangements for the few of them. Energy flowed in his hand and a large number of origin monic ki were poured into the energy source. Soon, the bronze warships rumbled. Following a sky-shaking roar, the battleship soared into the sky and rushed towards the outside world of the Yunlo. Elder Wu stood outside the punishment department within the inner academy. He watched the bronze warships leave as he sighed softly. He hoped that this time around, he would not have to reforge the regrets of his past life. At the peak of Heaven Pillar Peak, Elder Shao was sitting on a huge rock with his legs crossed. He glanced at the bronze warship that had disappeared into the horizon with a complicated expression. It was a long while later before he shook his head. All these years, he had done everything he could. Moreover, at the final moment, Xiaoyan and Zhu Tianhou had both reached the Monic Emperor. This had greatly increased the strength of the participating team. If they were to return with a crushing defeat this time, the future of Yunlo Academy was truly a mystery. They have left. At the entrance of the realm in Valley, Yuan Tianmu said softly. His expression was a little absent-minded. Originally, he was supposed to be one of the people who entered the warship this time, but it was hard to predict what would happen in the future. Although his strength had improved over the past few years, he was still unable to advance to the Monic Emperor. Although he had the strength to fight a Monic Emperor, it was nothing compared to the geniuses of the other three academies. Zan Kai, who was standing beside him, had a complicated expression on his face. Finally, he sighed. Zhu Tianhou, who was originally just a chess piece, had now far surpassed him. It was hard for him to see Zhu Tianhou's strength, but there was nothing he could do about it. Do you know? Narrowing his eyes, Yuan Tianmu let out a bitter laugh. We had made up our mind to kill Emperor Cultivations after breaking through to the Monic Emperor. When I went to look for them a few months ago, there was no trace of them. You mean, Xiaoyan? Zan Kai pursed his lips and said in a hoarse voice. That's right, I didn't believe it before. I thought the blood flame scaled beast left after regaining its strength. Now that I think about it, it's very likely that it was killed by Xiaoyan during the trial of entering the realm in Valley. Whether it was Lu Xiangyang or Bai Yongzhao, neither of them had the strength to kill the blood flame scaled beast. Only Xiaoyan could do it. Yuan Tianmu's voice was heavy as he spoke out his thoughts, but his mouth was filled with bitterness. With the strength of an emperor, he was able to kill an injured middle-rank heavenly beast. Just what level of strength did this fellow have? Zan Kai remained silent. He shook his head and walked towards Realm in Valley with heavy steps. 3 years ago, they were still sitting on the grandstand and looking down at Xiaoyan. Zhu Tianhou and Wu Shaoqi's experts were now under their feet. Brother, you have to work hard. Defeat Kang Feng and avenge your parents. When Mu Yiyu heard the news that the bronze warship had left, she muttered to herself with a pale face. She looked in the direction where the bronze warship had left and did not speak for a long time. This hatred had been suppressed in her heart and was about to dissipate. Today, it had once again erupted. Qi, the bronze warship's speed increased once again after coming out of the Yunlo Academy. Under Su Jiang's control, it shot towards the northwest direction. Xiaoyan looked through the glass and saw the scene that was flashing rapidly below. A tinge of emotion surged into his heart. He did not know what kind of scene would appear the next time he returned. At that time, he would also have to face the preparations to head to the Mingyan Divine Domain. He also needed to collect all the medicinal ingredients for the essence-protecting pill. Rumble. The bronze warship was like a huge lightning bolt that pierced through the void. It flew forward day and night. After passing by numerous residences and domains, its speed finally slowed down after nearly 20 days. In front of them was the trial ground of the 4 courtyards, the Star Moon Island. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.